Everybody, welcome back. PieCover here. Energy. Bitcoin uses too much energy. Debate. And I want to debunk that because most people don't really understand the energy Bitcoin uses. Most people think the Bitcoin mining is intuitively, most people think it's about digging holes in the ground, just like you mine coal or gold and other minerals from the ground, but essentially it's way different than that. So I'm gonna go over a few pictures showing you what's really happening with the Bitcoin mining and what really is the truth behind it. Think of Bitcoin mining. Basically, you have computers, right? You can set them anywhere in the world. As long as you just have an antenna with some internet connection, you can pull out of you know the sky, and you could just generate power with whatever you have, right? If you have gold, you can have coal, can mine Bitcoin with it. If you have natural gas that you're not using, that you're flaring on the atmosphere, and that's very bad for the environment, well, you can turn it into Bitcoin. So just like you see here, this is just a little container that contains few Bitcoin machines. Those computers here are specifically built to mine Bitcoin, basically securing the Bitcoin network, right? And by securing the Bitcoin network, they get rewarded with new Bitcoin that's been mined, or Bitcoin, and also with Bitcoin transactions. So this is just basically an example of what's going on. It's just you have these generators, right, that take the gas or whatever, oil or anything, and then just convert it into electricity, and then the Bitcoin miners consume that electricity. So most people say, hey, this is not efficient. This is a lot of waste of energy. How, like, just a cryptocurrency has to use all that energy? First of all, most people don't understand what Bitcoin is, what it represents, and when you think about Bitcoin, Bitcoin is a new monetary system that a lot of people rely on right now. A lot of people already rely on Bitcoin for their survival around the world. A lot of people, Bitcoin saved a lot of people's life, right? That are running from hyperinflation in places like Lebanon, Venezuela. Now we have places like Turkey, we have Argentina. All these places are in crisis, currency crisis, where their money is going to zero. So now I'm gonna show you. This is a bank location in the U.S. Most people you will see saying Bitcoin uses too much energy. They are very privileged and very comfortable people in the places like in the West. And you have this bank location, and this is just an example of one, but you have many of them, right? Imagine all the whole country of the U.S. and Canada and all of the in the Europe bank locations in all those you know uh, states or provinces and cities. Banks location, think about how many bank location you see in your city alone, right? And just multiply that by all the other states and departments and cities, plus like so many other provinces in the world. You start to realize, hey, if Bitcoin can replace those things, right? And this is a massive improvement, a massive way of efficiency of the Bitcoin network. So, and I'm going to show you like simply what the Bitcoin network over here. Basically, this is the mining, right? You have those are basically a bunch of people pulling their computation power together to generate enough energy to mine, to secure the Bitcoin network, which is, they call it mining, but it's basically securing the Bitcoin network. And they're projecting hashes. They call a hash rate, right? And then the hash rate goes up if there's too much energy going in the system, and then the hash rate go down. There's a difficulty adjustment, just like you see here. There's a difficulty here that this is basically the pink line. That's a difficulty when it goes down too much minus, then it goes down. When there's too little sorry, when there's too much minus, it goes up to adjust to make it more difficult. And when there's too little miners, it goes down to make it affordable for more miners to join the network. And then every 10 minutes, they just collect, they combine whoever win the block. Basically, it's a competition every 10 minutes. Whoever win that mathematical problem solution, who get the solution, he have the right to construct the transactions, all the transactions that happen during that 10 minutes. So, and they call that a block. Basically, just simple. It's just like a record of all those transactions. And you click on that block, for example, the last block from that time, you'll see it's basically all the transactions. You can go over, you can see, visualize all those transactions. And you will see the reward they get. Say, hey, this you see how many transactions, right? And you see the size of those transactions. You see how much they send. You see the transaction fees. This one was the last one was 6.43. So basically, right now the reward is 6.25 every 10 minutes plus the transaction fee. So basically, whatever the fee the transaction people want to pay. So this is basically what it is. But now let's go back to the banking system, right? The banking system is doing basically the same thing. They're just pushing transactions around, and it just, if you wanna, send money from this bank to that bank, while you just uh, say, hey, you just take your pull out your bank app and then you send money, right? Everything is already digital. With the money printing, right? So you have the money printing. U.S. debt right now is at almost at 33 trillion, right? And then you have money creation is it's going up, right? And now it's like they are raising rate at that moment, right? It's pretty much a centrally controlled economy, which is the same for most countries around the world. So this is the money create M2 money supply, which is at 20 trillion, 20.6 trillion, and this is how much money that was created over the past like since 1968, but even go farther than that. So this is basically how much the money is created, and you see that this is going parabolic. It's like a exponential chart. And now it's just going slightly down, right? Just like that. We see all the way that they are raising, right? So that's basically what it is. But as you can see, it start to pick up again because the nature of this economy is to basically go in an inflationary way. So they cannot afford to not print. So let me say that in a different way. They cannot afford to have this chart going down. So the nature of the economy is for this chart to keep expanding to infinity, right? So this is what it is right now. This is the nature of it right now, and you can count on the next few years from now. It's gonna blow up to somewhere like 25. Somewhere it's gonna reach that eventually, very soon. I don't know when, but it's gonna reach it because it's a mathematical guaranteed because the interest on the debt is going up, right? So because they are raising rate and the more they raise rate, right, the more the interest is going up. This is the debt they are basically they are, people all the people are holding, and the people are demanding more interest on the debt. This is the over the like past couple couple of years. This is how much the debt went up. It went up from like somewhere close to zero to like 4.26 right now. This is on the 10 year, but it's going higher because inflation is like and inflation, which is the price of goods and services, which is not really what inflation. Inflation is the this is inflation basically. That's inflation. That's the creation of money. And so you have this basically. This is the the interest rate they have to pay on that debt. Okay, and that debt, you see this number ever growing a number a year. This is the interest rate they have to pay on that debt. And you have even higher, bigger number, which is the total debt, 102 trillion. That's basically the household, businesses, and all those, combined. This is how much debt they have. You see, this is unsustainable, and it's not possible to pay that down. And even if they will be able to pay that down, the economy would collapse. But nobody wanna see that, right? People don't wanna see pain. They don't wanna feel the pain. You just always wanna have a quick fix, right? So this is the type of society we live in today. And Bitcoin is the fix, in my opinion. So when people say Bitcoin uses too much energy, and I said, no, Bitcoin create energy and it uses it and it provide even more energy. Now you're gonna have companies in Africa. This is a startup, which called like Gridless. It's going around in the villages where there's water, excess power on the grid, and those little communities. It uses those power and mine Bitcoin, and then reinvest that money into the community so they can have much more um, power generation. So that's that, and it's a lot of empowerment. But not only that, in the Bitcoin, mining, you have like that's the first picture I showed you. You have those people go around and take the gas and mine it. This is just the first picture I showed you, but this is not really how Bitcoin is mined. If you have coal mine like this, you can take the coal and take it to and then just burn it and then put it in in uh, in a way you can generate electricity, use that electricity to mine Bitcoin, especially if you're somewhere far that you cannot transport the electricity, very far. Sometimes it's not cost effective to do so, so Bitcoin miners can move there and then start mining for you. And so, especially in some places, I think in US, I saw that they wanted to get rid of the coal, but it was not. There was no. It was not cost effective to do so, and it was very a toxic place for the community. So what they do, Bitcoin was the only way to clean up that place. So and also Bitcoin is giving purpose to a lot of people around the world, right? Bitcoin is giving financial, uh, you know, opportunity to people. They are saving their lives, just like I said in the beginning of the video. So Bitcoin is saving people's life from hyperinflationary places like Nigeria, in places, so many places in Africa like Lebanon, Turkey. Like some those places, there are women, right? Sometimes they are being abused, right? Because I mean, if you don't have money, it's very hard. Like in any situation, your relationship is all broke down. But if you have some saving, you can at least you can protect yourself. You can escape that those abusive relationship and abusive places. And you have to go back to the energy issue. And this is really not like Bitcoin is a solution to the problem. And and we look deep into it, you see the gas places. This is basically how the oil has been for hundreds of years since the discovery of oil under the ground. So basically, they take the oil, they extract it, and then they take that you know oil from the ground, and then just like you see it, and then there's an excess gas, from the oil when they take it out. So the oil is coming deep from the ground. So this excess gas, which is like they call it natural gas, they cannot do anything with it, right? They can only what they can do. They can just burn it because it's not cost effective. It's so expensive to build the pipeline to take that gas to a local community where people are living. They can use it. So instead, they just burn it on the site. So and some places they just flare it, so they just basically let the gas go in the atmosphere. So here, what you see instead of that, right? You have those Bitcoin miners come up. Sorry, you have those Bitcoin miners come and then use that energy, right? So by using it, there's no more flaring, there's no more burning in the sky. You just take it into machine, the machine is eating that energy and then put it into Bitcoin, right? And you benefit with new hard money. So this is basically what it is. And this is another site where you have, this is the gas that will go to the atmosphere, it goes straight to the machine, and then the machine just, transform that into CO2, with the vapor from the machine, right? And then basically you get like a cleaner environment. I don't believe in climate change. I think it's a scam. But just that doesn't mean you have to turn off that video. But I'm just saying that's just my opinion, right? Because all this government money printing, it's just an excuse. All this money printing of a infinite growth in the economy to expand the economy as much as they can is inflationary in its global. It's I would say this is what really causing the destruction of the environment itself. I believe that the environment can be destroyed. I think like a lot of companies can destroy their environment. For example, if they use like oil and they just like bust that oil into the river, and I get it. This is bad for the environment. I understand that this is very terrible. And I think if a company wanna transport oil and use gas and all those things, they should find the most effective, best technology to do it safely and properly. It doesn't mean we have to shut them down. We have to just do it safely and properly. We have the technology. If we have the technology, we should use it in a safe way to protect the environment. It's not to say, oh, we have to just shut it down. Think about how much we can just use that oil, use that energy, sell it, make enough profit so we can build better way, better pipeline. We can build like a more sophisticated with better technology so that any of those bad negative effect doesn't happen. See, but we need the money, right, to do so. We need to the productivity. We need to be rich. That's people. There's this mentality. Or if you're being rich, this is bad. No, we don't need debt. You don't need more debt. There's already much more debt. We just need productivity and real wealth. Bitcoin is real wealth, and when you produce those Bitcoin, it's going into you know store that energy because we only know there's only 21 million Bitcoin. And because there's 21 million Bitcoin and you can't create more of it, so you can only take the energy, transform it into a Bitcoin and into Satoshis. And those Satoshis can be stored forever. You see? So this is the thing. Once you start thinking about this way, this is a conservation of energy, right? You take the energy in one side and you digitize it on the other side, and it hold it. Bitcoin network will hold it forever. So once you understand that, there's and the only separation is cryptography. You encrypt that energy, right, with a wall of energy, which is like the what Michael Saylor said, where I think makes sense. And once you have that, it's encrypted forever, and you have conservation of energy. This is when human progress starts. Right? We just started, just getting started with the human progress with Bitcoin. Once we can store energy, right? If you don't have fire, right? You you're not really digest. Your body is doing so much effort to digest the meat, right? With the discovery of fire, so we are able to digest more faster with the meat because the meat is cooked, it's smoked, right? So because of that, it already pre-digests in a way, so your body doesn't have to do that much effort to consume that, right? So this is also preservation of energy, conservation of energy. So this is basically what it is. I just wanted to just come out here and just explain because there's so much misinformation. I want to say misinformation. I'm glad. I mean, it's okay. It's fine. I mean, whatever somebody may say, you have a misconception. A lot of people, had those misconceptions, but when they get the education, they are pushed, and they start to understand. Okay, it start to make sense now. Bitcoin is not really the waste. Bitcoin is not the really the one that's wasting energy. It's those banks locations, right? The central banks that are printing money to evaporate, to destroy our energy as human beings. When inflation is going up, so it's what it's doing. Whatever your time, your energy, you save, you spend to save in that currency, it's being destroyed. So you become poorer and poorer. So instead of that, what you have a money that's storing that energy. So you become richer and richer. So you can care more for the planet in the future. We can protect the planet more if this is what we want, right? We can be more mindful of our environment. This is the way we protect the environment. It's not by printing money and assume like, oh yeah, we have to grow in a finite planet, right? So once people say there's not enough Bitcoin out to flow around, oh yeah, that's why the bank need to print money. It's like, no, you get it wrong. There's 100 million Satoshi inside each Bitcoin, and each of the Satoshi can be divided, infinitely divided, because it's digital. Okay, so once you understand that, there's no limit to how much energy Bitcoin can store in the protocol. There's no limit on how much energy you can store into Bitcoin. So this is why people need to start to understand, because it's not about, you know don't just look at it in a way of, oh, it's using energy. Think about of all those bank locations, right, around the world, right? So all those things, you have to power that location. You need electricity, you need gas in the winter to keep it warm, and those people have to drive into it, right? So many people have to drive, take their car and spend the gas. You have to pay those people. That's okay. Yes, they have a job, but they can be doing like something better, like we're more efficient in the economy, producing better value instead of just create money for free, right? You need like so many things, but this location can be used after. Maybe it can be used to do something more productive, right? Instead of a bank location. Like how many people go to the bank now, right? We have like this app on our phone, right? Why do you need a bank like location, right? So it's just like so ridiculous, right? Like you need money with cash, go to the ATM machine, right? The ATM machine doesn't need a big building like that, right? So like it's like why we need all those bank location, like why we need a central bank, right? Somebody to dictate what the interest rate is, right? It's like so archaic, and we look at Bitcoin mining and say, "Oh no, this is bad." Like, no, you don't understand. This is decentralized network that doesn't you don't where you don't need the permission, you don't need a credit, like you don't need to have a good credit to use Bitcoin. Okay, you can use Bitcoin without a good credit. Right? You don't need to be born in the North, yeah, America. You don't need to be born in US to have a bank account. You can have a Bitcoin address anytime you want. Just spin up a Bitcoin wallet on your phone, and I'll send you some Bitcoin, send you some satoshis, right? So I just think about this way, then you will realize why the Bitcoin network is so important. Also, Bitcoin gives you purpose in life, right? When you see they print so much money, think about how much money they printed, right? How could you have like any motivation to work, anything? That's why you see so many people quit their job in the era of 2020, 2021. They left the marketplace because they say, "What the hell? What is this?" Right? And they can just put money, send it to people, send the people at home to not go to work. And why you go to work then? Right? Most people will lose their motivation. But now people can have their motivation back because they know if they save that satoshi tomorrow when they retire, they can no longer work. Right? They're sick or something. They can use those satoshis to survive. You see, this gives you purpose in life. Anyways, guys, this was my, a little rant. I went in a little rant here, but I hope you get the idea, and I hope you find value in that video. If you do, please subscribe, send me some sats, and value for value. Or not, just subscribe is okay, and comment and let me know what you think. And yeah, so I'll see you again, guys, in the next talk. With PieCover. Thank you. Thank you for a lot for listening, and I love you all.